So let's talk about the algorithm shift and what exactly that means. So YouTube made a series of changes to its recommendation algorithm beginning in 2012, where watch time was privileged over views. What did that mean in practical terms, and how does that impact what floats to the top?
Yeah, I think that was like one part of the book I wanted to get across is like YouTube sort of is like a de facto media programmer. And this was a really interesting example, right? Like we saw it almost overnight a decade ago, right? They went from prioritizing views in the algorithm to watch time and engagement. Mm-hmm. And then like you saw, I talk about Freddie Wong, Mystery Guitar Man, like some of the bigger like YouTubers at the time were making these pretty elaborate, like they were spending a week to make like a 1 minute video. They were great. Like there were mini films, they were creative, they were interesting, and they did pretty well. And then the model became like it sort of changed the economics of it. It's like much cheaper for us to do this and just like talk. To do vlogging became popular. Like that was around the same time that like video gameplay took off. Like the whole like beauty category became really big, and then like kids content. So like all this major content on YouTube is many like came from that transition to watch time.
How do these changes happen at Google? I know you talked about the culture of consensus and wrote about that. Since there isn't an OG founder at the helm, you've got to get approvals and buy-in from everyone.
Yeah.
Does this make it such that it takes a long time to implement algorithmic changes or any other changes at YouTube?
Yeah, I think yes, and I'm now having an epiphany. Like your earlier question, like part of the reason there's not a lot about YouTube is because like it doesn't have like the founder. There's no Jack Dorsey or Mark Zuckerberg. Like the founders of YouTube left pretty early on. There have been 3 different like CEOs there. But Susan Wojcicki's run it since 2014 and does have like. My understanding, like a super consensus oriented. Like there are a lot of complaints from people that YouTube has moved like pretty slowly on major decisions. I think the company will say, and I justified, like they move slowly because like the decisions they make have big impacts, not just for like the 2 billion plus viewers, but like millions of people who make money off the platform, right? Like they have some like serious ripple effects. So I think it's right for them to move slowly on some cases. That said, like it's not like they kind of it's one day they flip a switch and the algorithm change, right? Like YouTube does, it's like constantly doing A/B testing, and it's sort of tweaking, making the engineering team is like every day shipping like product shipping changes to the algorithm to like certain subsets of viewers. Google and YouTube are an engineering driven culture and company, and so like they make a lot of decisions based on their objectives that are like we're going to hit certain targets, and a lot of it's based on like the key metrics they have. And I think that's what's really interesting, and I wrote about this some in the book, is like not just watch time but what they call valued watch time, and like trying to optimize for that, which is this like really squishy term that's not as easy to measure.
What is that?
Yeah, I mean, in theory...
It sounds like time well spent that Mark Zuckerberg says at Facebook. Yeah.
Same exact thing. It is... I mean, so with YouTube, there was the part in the book I talk about this day, like the prior term they used was nutritious and delicious. And they're like, a lot of YouTube is delicious, right? Like literally like candy, right? And this was around the time when like Khan Academy and like... the SciShow, like the Hank and John Green making these educational videos, and there's a ton of like pretty high quality educational videos on YouTube, and so the idea was they were trying to like algorithmically weight quality, which I think like now they're trying to do it. So they kind of abandoned that early on for a variety of reasons, partly because it was just really hard to do and it goes against the sort of DNA of like putting the thumb on the scale. My understanding of like valued watch time now is based a lot on surveys. So I don't know how often you've seen like after you watch a YouTube video, you've seen like the give a star ranking.
Yeah.
And it's based on some measurements from their like the kind of quality content moderation team trying to measure like the expertise, like giving credentials to a certain channel. Like this channel's been around for a long time. This channel makes videos on this like topic. And then if they start pivot and start to make videos on a different topic, we're not going to weight them as much based on, I mean, the broader point here is like it is certainly for like you and me, it is a total mystery how this operates. I think from people inside the company, it's a total mystery too. Like it's a hard. I mean, it is a hard problem, but at the same time, like I don't think they've had a really strong articulation of what it is they're measuring and like what outcome they want.
Business casual.